Thank you for joining me in this video. I'm not going to take a long time. I'm going to speak about impulse control. Have you ever heard about this term called as impulse control? It's not a psychological term. Just an ordinary term. The term is a very simple one, but the skill is a very dynamic skill. Anybody out there is very much familiar with self-control must be also knowing about this impulse control. Impulse control is postponement of some drive. The very reason why I have chosen this topic for this video is some of the parents who came for the counseling, they said that their children are so much addicted to the smartphone, they spend a lot of time in the internet, they spend a lot of time in the Android games, they are not able to detach themselves out of this screen timings, spend a lot of time with the laptop, watching movies and stuff. So I thought I could extend this technique to various other people who also have same kinds of problems in their profession and also in their study tenure. When I was a little boy, I always had this inclination of watching action movies. The very next day, Monday morning, I would be having mathematics examination scheduled. Sunday night, I would be very much inclined to watch action movies. Some clips from the Bruce Lee's movie, some clips from Sylvester Stallone's movie and stuff like that. So I did not know about this impulse control at that point of time. Nobody has taught me that. But right now, in this personal development area, I came across this concept, and I've been talking about this as a buzzword for at least for the past 6 or 7 months. It's actually too late right now. I should have spoken about this particular concept a little bit earlier too. Now, let me come to this subject called as impulse control. A smoker came to me and he asked, how can I cut down on the number of cigarettes I smoke a single day? And I told him, well, if you would like to light up a cigarette at 9 o'clock in the morning, postpone it to 10 o'clock. And if you are having the inclination to light up a cigarette at 10 o'clock, postpone it to 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock he can't stop, he cannot resist, and he will definitely light up a cigarette. But from 9 to 12, the 3 hours is a very big achievement platform for him, because what he has done in that span of 3 hours is called as impulse control. The person was able to control the impulse, the person was able to push the drive a little bit farther, and the person was really able to think of something else. And the person was able to really deviate the mind when the person was having the interest of lighting up a cigarette and smoking. So what are the gray areas you have in your life? When I say gray areas, what I mean is the areas of improvement where you will be needing some impulse control. As I told my boyhood example, where I needed impulse control over the idea of watching action clips during a crucial period of time. Sometimes in the time management matrix, you come to a situation where it's not urgent, it's not important, but still you would like to do it. That's the area where impulse control has to be immediately employed, right? So which are the gray areas you have? Think about some of the areas where you will be needing impulse control. I've got many, and I'm trying to do that, right? So just because I'm extending this concept doesn't mean that I'm so much superior than you. No, not at all, not ever. So think about the areas where you are supposed to employ impulse control on a proper basis, on a proper metrics. So now coming back to the example of the parents who were asking me about how to enable the children detach the time of spending time in the internet. So when we speak about internet, we are also supposed to speak about the magnanimous statistics of data that is available as today. You are available with about 40 GB of data in a month. Thanks to Reliance Jio, it has really expanded the market to the level that all the telecommunication service providers have gone to an extent of giving at least 40 GB or 50 GB data every single month. So how do you think that 40 GB data in the span of 28 or 29 days? You've been using 40 GB data in 28 days, and 29th day, what improvement do you see within you because of using the 40 GB data? What were you doing? Were you uploading information? Were you downloading information? Fine, if you are downloading information, what are the stuff that you downloaded, and how do you think that has really contributed towards your mental effectiveness, physical effectiveness, psychological effectiveness, emotional effectiveness? Well, if your answer is no for everything, then there is something wrong. You are not really using the resource properly. So capturing the time and doing something not necessary without employing impulse control, and just inundatedly enslaving yourself to lots of other technological resources. For example, if you have abundant of data available and if you are not using those data for the constructive development of yourself and you are wasting that data, then it is absence of impulse control. Do you understand the problem? So you have to think how this activity that I am going to do now is going to contribute towards my development. How does this particular activity, if I indulge in, what kind of development or what kind of improvement I'm going to take? Coming back to the parental counseling, I talk to the children over phone, or I ask the children to be brought out here, and I tell them, I really teach them how to do impulse control. If a particular task is not important, not urgent, then it obviously comes in the last section of the time management matrix. If there is a particular task that is most important but not so urgent, that is to be prioritized. If there is a particular activity which is most urgent but not very important, most important but not very urgent, most important, most urgent, not important at all, not urgent at all, we are enslaved in the last spectrum of the matrix, that is not important and not urgent. And we do plenty of things that are not important to us at that moment of time and not urgent stuff at that moment of time. So the ability to discriminate between not urgent and not important. There are some activities which are not important and not urgent, and they come and they capture our neck. That's where we need a lot of impulse control. That's where we need a lot of self-control. So at that point of time, I want you to think that, okay, fine, so this is not important. If your mind comes up with an activity, please try to put that activity in any of these matrices. Most important, most urgent, 1. Most important but less urgent, 2. Most urgent but less important, 3. Not important, not urgent, 4. Impulse control is completely needed in this 4th section, where not important and not urgent activities are there, and you need to think, what is the benefit I'm going to get by doing this activity? It's tough asking this question at that moment, I agree, but if you really want the improvement so badly, you can do this. What am I going to do? How am I going to get benefited because of this task? So let me postpone it. Not now, let me postpone it to the evening. Not now, let me postpone it to the night. And again, redo the same thing when the night comes, when the evening comes, when the time to which you have postponed to, if that time comes, you have to redo it. So if you do that, then that's the first level of impulse control. And if you do that on a very much advanced basis, and if you're taking plenty of control over lots of other activities, then it's the superior form of impulse control. Just a hint of it. Maybe if you need more information about this, get in touch with me. I'll give you a course about impulse control. Thanks a lot for spending your time.